All right, multi-step story problem. We're gonna write the equation and we'll solve it. And we have to label our answers for all the story problems. Number one, the Kitts family spent $340.25 ordering Cubs tickets online. I should say ordering Cubs tickets online. The cost included $11.25 service fee for the order. And each ticket was $65.80. How many tickets did the Kitts family purchase? What are we trying to find? Lila, sorry, that used to be where Lila sat. Abby? Correct. Let's use what letter for our variable then?
T.
I like it. We'll use T for tickets. All right, so let's start with this. We know that they each cost $65.80. So they had to pay $65.80 for every ticket. We don't know how many tickets that was, so we'll just times that by this T number that represents the tickets that they purchased. And there was a service fee. This is pretty normal. When you buy things online, there's a service fee or some sort of convenience fee they charge. And that fee costs them an extra $11.25. Altogether, what was their bill? Asma?
$340.25.
$340.25. That's right. That's why I curved my T's. Because I had that same problem with them looking at my pluses. All right. What's our constant term that we need to try to get rid of here, Brian? Okay, let's get rid of it. Let's subtract 1125. This, by the way, is just your typical two-step equation, but it has decimals. But you can use a calculator, so it's really not that big of an issue. Brian, what do you get when you subtract $11.25 from $340.25? Yeah, so $329. If you take away the convenience fee or service fee, they spent $329 on those tickets, and each of them cost $65.80. Now to find out what T is, Lila. All right, and I'll trust that you guys know we're dividing. I won't write down that we're dividing by that because we said we were. Lila, what is 329 divided by 65.8? 5 what dollars? 5 tickets. Yeah, that's why I like using variables that represent what I'm actually finding. So I do have to label my answer for all the story problems. Okay, number one, complete. Number two. The other class tell you that?
No, we did.
Oh, we did it. Did we do it yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know my 12s.
It's the activity.
Well, let's all together.
The other class had 8
It's
questions in their worksheet.
8.3.
We are 8.3 repeating percent done with our worksheet.
How do you figure out?
I just did 1 divided by 12. We're 1/12 the way done.
1 divided by 12. No, 0.0.
It's 0.08. So 8 as a percent, and you slide it over twice, 8.3 repeating percent. Number 2, consecutive integers are integers that differ by 1. Consecutive, right? Consecutive, like for example, if I said I won consecutive national championships, they'd be back to back, right? So consecutive integers would be like 10, 11, and 12, or 42, 43, and 44. These consecutive integers differ by 1, they're 1 apart. And it says you can represent those integers as x plus 1, and x plus 2. I'm not going to define my variable because x is just a number here. So, although x is the first number, you'll notice that x. So let's just, for simplicity's sake, say x was 10. Does this expression show 10, 11, and 12? Yeah. So this works first. Okay. Write an equation and solve it to find 3 consecutive integers whose sum. What's sum tell you to do? Add. Whose sum is 159. So I'm going to add x with x plus 1 and x plus 2 to get 159. Now this one we would definitely need to combine our like terms. Fender, when I combine my x terms, what's 1x, 1x, and 1x?
3x.
3x. Good. Okay. And Kaylee, when I combine my constant terms, what's +1 and +2 combined? 3. So the expression 3x plus 3 is what I'll use to find these three consecutive integers. They're going to equal 159, the sum of those three consecutive integers. What do I do, Gannon? Excellent. Do I need to put -3 on both sides?
No.
Okay, I did that with the other classes. I can do it with you guys too, but I feel like you guys have solved some issues of equations at this point. Gannon, what's 153 minus 3? 156. Okay. And then my last step, Autumn, was to do what? Birthday girl? Divide by 3. All right, Autumn, when I divide by 3, what's 156 divided by 3? 52. So if you want to check your answer, 3 consecutive integers, 52, 53, 54, add up to 159.
16.6.
We are 16.6 repeating percent done. All right, number 3. This is a true story. In Super Bowl 35, you know your Roman numerals. XXXV is 35, X being 10, V being 5, so 35. The total number points scored was 41. So altogether in the game, there was 41 points scored. The winning team outscored the losing team by 27 points, so it was a blowout. What was the score of the losing team? And then what was the final score of the game? So what was the score of the winning team as well, right? Oh, after we're done, we can look it up. Let's finish this first, okay? So, it says the total number of points scored is 41. The winning team outscored the losing team by 27. So it says, what's the score of the losing team? Let's use L for losers. L equals the losing team's score. Sure. So there's the losers, okay? If they were outscored by 27 points, then how many points, what expression could I write to represent the points the winners had? Eli?
I said 27 plus L equals 41.
Oh, you're close. There's something you're forgetting. They outscored them by 27, but I didn't say that they scored 27. Does that make sense? They outscored them by 27, but they didn't necessarily score 27. 27 more than the losers, right? So if this represents the losing team score, the winning team score would be losers plus 27. And then for a total number of points, add them together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So loser's score plus the loser's score plus 27, which would be the winner's score, equals 41. You see how we did that? That was kind of tricky. Okay, so again, this is the loser score. That's the winner score.
Okay.
Because if you just put L plus 27, we're assuming the losers didn't score anything. But they could have, right? They could have. Maybe L is 0, but maybe it's something else. So we have to assume that they just scored loser score plus 27. Okay, so when we combine our like terms, what's L and L make? Haley? 2L plus 27 equals 41. So I'm going to do the bare minimum number amount of work here. So what you're seeing me write is the bare minimum that I would want you to write. Meaning I'm not going to show you the in-between steps. How do I get rid of the 27? Back. That's right. What's 41 minus 27? Back. 14. Okay. And divide by 2, Brian. Okay. So the losers scored 7 points. And if the winners outscored them by 27, how much did the winners have, Eli? They had 34 points. Does that make 41 total points altogether? It does. So the final score of the game would have been 7 to 34. Gannon's already looked it up, I'm sure.
I have.
You haven't. Okay.
I took a wild guess on one of the.
Who? You think it was the Bears?
No.
The Bears made the Super Bowl and when the Colts played them in Super Bowl 41, I think.
And they lost.
And they lost to the Colts. And the last time they were in the Super Bowl before that was 85. Not Super Bowl 85, but 1985, which we're gonna do. So someone look it up. What Super Bowl was this? 35.
We don't talk about the
Like it's,
Panthers and the Panthers are gonna be.
no, we're done 25%.
I'm gonna say.
We are 25.
No, I will.
Ryan, I will look it up. You guys aren't gonna look it up, I'll look it up.
I like to see it on there though.
Super Bowl 35 scores.
Oh, was this great? Yep.
On Sunday, 2001, the Ravens kept their promise and defeated the New York Giants. You're right. Yep, this is the Ray Lewis Super Bowl. One Super Bowl being won, one of the best
No,
linebackers.
he wants to.
You're right, when John Harbaugh was, right? Okay, you're right, you're right.
Hey, you know.
First,
The best one.
number 4. Number 4 said high school basketball court's 34 feet longer than it is wide. That's true, also. If the perimeter of the court's 268 feet, what is its width? And what are the dimensions of the court? So we're trying to find the court's width. Let's use W. All right. So it says the perimeter of the court is 268. I need to write an equation to find the perimeter of the basketball court. However, my P equals 2W plus 2L equation that we were using for the last couple of days isn't going to work because it's in terms of L and W, and I can't solve it. So I need to write this whole thing in terms of W. Okay. So here I'm just going to draw a little rectangle here. Obviously, the width is W, and there's a width on the other side. Now it says the basketball court is 34 feet longer than it is wide. So they're telling us what the length is. Is the length 34? No, the length is W plus 34. It's 34 feet longer than what the width is. So whatever the width is, 34 more than that. Now let's add all that together. W, 4W. Yeah. 34 and 34, 68. All together equals 268. So subtract 68.
Let's go.
4W equals 200. Divide by 4. W equals 50. The basketball court is 50 feet wide. And so it's 50 feet wide by how long is it?
Oh, it's
84.
84 feet wide. And that's actually our final answer because it did want us to give the dimension. That's what it means by the dimensions of the court.
Where are we multiplying?
Yes. For what? 33.3 repeating percent done. All right. Yeah.
What do you think?
Ravens won over the Giants.
But 12 divided by 4.
Number 5. Number 5, the figures below have the same perimeter. Am I going too fast?
That's it.
Or are we just not paying attention on? Are we good? Okay. They have the same perimeter. Find the value of X and then find what the perimeter is. If they have the same perimeter, that means I can write an equation and set them equal to each other. Let's look at the triangle first. What expression could I use for the perimeter of this triangle? Asma?
3x plus 42.
Okay, so all three sides together, 3x plus 14. Now remember on the rectangle, there's another x and there's another x plus 4. So what expression could I use for the rectangle, Lila? 4x plus 8. This is our first one we've had so far that has variables on both sides, and this is what's going to be on the quiz tomorrow. Problems have variables on both sides. So since I've got a variable and a constant on both sides, move the variable term first. You can either subtract 3x from both sides or subtract 4x from each side. One's going to give you a positive, one will give you the same thing but negative. Which one should I do if I want to keep it positive? With you? Subtract 3x. Nice job. That's just going to give us x. Now, in that same step, if you would like, now if you're doing the same step, then you need to do what I'm doing. You can't say you're just going to skip to do 2 steps altogether. In that same step, you can also then take the constant 8 that's on that side and move it over to its opposite side. So subtract 8. Subtract 8. What's 14 minus 8?
6.
And we have our answer. X equals 6. Now, it also wants us to find the perimeter. Doesn't matter which shape you plug it into because they're both the same. Use either expression, probably the one that's got a 3x, but I don't know if that's any more difficult or not. If you plug in 6 for that x right there, what's 3 times 6? 18 plus 14. 32. Check your answer, plug it in right there. What's 4 times 6?
Oh.
24 plus 8, also 32. So we know it's right.
2 unit.
Oh, I thought you said 32.
I said
32.
And since we don't have specific units, let's go ahead and put units, or you can abbreviate U in for
Yeah.
41.6% of the way there. I'm trusting your math there.
It's 41.6.
Number 6, twice the difference of x and 60 is 100. What is the value of x? What does it mean to take twice a number? 2. Okay. But what are you taking twice of?
The difference of x minus 60.
X. It didn't say twice the number x and then the difference of it and 40. It said twice the difference. So I'm taking the difference of x and 60, which means to subtract, as you guys are shouting at me. And then taking twice that, which means that whole thing. And we're gonna have to distribute the two. Yeah, it's not just 2x minus 60, it's 2 times the quantity x minus 60. And if you're confused on that, it's twice the difference, the whole difference, that whole quantity difference is getting times by 2. And what is it equal to? Is means equal, so equal to 100. All right. Now you could distribute the 2. Can I show you a shortcut? Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X minus 60 equals 50. X is not 10. X is add 60. Add 60 is 110. Now, the shortcut that I just showed you, which by the way, if we didn't do the shortcut, obviously we would have distributed, right? The shortcut I just showed you does not always work. It works for problems like this, where the entire side was being multiplied by 2. It will not work for a problem like this.
Yeah.
Right? Then I can't just say, oh, divide by 2, because not everything was being multiplied by 2. You can't do that. So distributing always works. But sometimes you can't take a shortcut if you notice the entire side was being distributed by 2. 50% done?
Yep.
All right, number 7. A new car loses 20% of its original value when you buy it. Just like when you drive off the lot. Boom, already 20% of its value gone. Because now it went from new to used. And then 8% of its value each year. The equation they give you for that is D equals 0.8b minus 0.08by. Let's talk about what these variables mean. D is the value. So D stands for depreciation. No. Depreciation. Not sure why I was struggling with that. I think that's the word.
I almost said depreciation.
Value depreciated. Depreciated. Which means the value decreases, right? Versus appreciation, which is actually increases. Can you think of something where the older it gets, the value increases?
Baseball cards.
Baseball cards? Anything that you probably want to collect, vintage cars, gold, silver, increase in value every day. Some things do appreciate, right?
Stocks.
Cars, stocks can sometimes, right? They can go up and down. But yeah, your car is lose value. So, V for depreciation equals 0.8 V. V, the capital V stands for the original value of the car. So it said that it loses 20% of its value, which means 80% of its value is still there, correct? That's where the 0.8 or 80% of its value is coming from. Then it says 0.08 VY. That means it loses an additional 8% of its original value each year. 8%, of course, being 0.08, which they have written for us. If a 6-year-old vehicle is worth $12,000, what was its original value? Its original value, they've given us the variable capital V. So find capital V in this equation by plugging in what for D? 12,000. That's what its value is after the depreciation, right? So that'll be our D. And what are we plugging in 6 for?
For the Y.
For the Y, for the years. Okay. So 12,000 equals 0.8 V minus 0.08 V times 6. What is 0.08 times 6? Bender.
0.48.
Yes, so this is going to simplify to 0.48 V, and then we have 0.8 V. Combine your like terms. Now 0.8, remember, is the same as 0.80 if you're trying to do this in your head. So you're subtracting 48 away from 80, Asma.
32.
Okay, so we have 0.32 V. I just simplified the right side of the equation all the way down to 0.32 V. Now on the left side of the equation, it would still equal to 12,000. Divide by 0.32. Now, something interesting happens when you divide by 0.32. It goes up. When you divide normally by a number, it goes down. But normally we're dividing by numbers that are bigger than 1. If you divide by a number that's really, really small, a number that's smaller than 1, it will increase, right? What do you get, Kaylee? $37,500. Yeah, B stood for its value, so that's gonna be dollars. Eli? I don't know, she did the math.
You do. Well,
I agree with her. We divided both sides by 0.32. 0.32 times B, so I divide both sides by 0.32.
We're 58.
58.3, all right. Number 8, together Craig and Jake have $32. Craig has $4 less than twice the amount Jake has. How much money does Jake have? How much money do both of them have?
What did she?
Thank you. Let's start with how much money Jake has, since they asked that first. Let's use Jake, or Jay. Jay is going to represent the dollar amount that Jake has. So dollar amount, Jake. I'll put that. His money. Jake's money. So Jay represents Jake's money. I don't know what that is. I also don't know how much money for sure that Craig has, but I do know that Craig has 4 less than twice that amount. So what expression could I use to represent 4 less than twice Jake's number of money, or amount of money? Abby?
2J minus 4.
Got it. So this expression represents Jake's money, and this expression represents Craig's money.
Wow.
Twice Jake's amount minus 4. Together, meaning adding those, they have $32. All that for a measly 32. What's J and 2J make?
3J.
Yep, combine your like terms to 3J minus 4 equals 32. Add 4 to get 3J equals 36. Divide by 3, Jake has $12. And if Jake has $12 and they both have 32, then how much did Craig have? Nope, $20. No, don't add, double it and then take away 4.
Or you could just
Double it.
Or, well, yeah, that's what you do, right? If J is 12, then you would plug 12 in right here. If J is 12,
Yeah.
then Craig would have twice 12, 24, minus 4 more is 20.
Oh.
Or, as Asma was saying, since you know they have a total of 32, you do 32 minus 12, whatever is left over is what J has for $20. All right, flip your worksheet over to number 9. I'm gonna hurry then. A taxi company charges $2.25 for the first mile and then 20 cents per mile for each mile after the first. For the equation F equals 2.25, the original value, plus 20 cents for each mile after the first. Each mile after the first would be n minus 1. So I go 7 miles, n minus 1 would be 6. Each mile after the first mile. Okay. So F stands for fare, the amount of dollars. Fare is your taxi fee, right? And M is the number of miles. If Tony's fare is $6.05, F equals 605. how many miles? So we're gonna set that equal to $2.25 plus 0.2 times m minus 1. This is not a problem where that shortcut method would work, because not everything's being multiplied by 0.2. So let's distribute. 0.2 times m,
0.2 x.
0.2 times -1,
Negative.
negative 0.2.
Well, minus. As in point.
And 0.2.
There are some like terms we can combine over here. We have the two constant values. 2.25 minus 2.25 minus 0.20 is what?
2.2.
Mm,
Oh. Oh, 2.5, 0.
It's 2.05. Yes, so 6.05 equals 2.05 plus 0.2 m. When you subtract the $2.05 over the other side, you get 4. And it's not 4 divided by 2, it's 4 divided by 0.2. Bailey? It's 20 what? 20. What does M stand for?
Miles.
Miles. Yeah, 20 miles. I'll tell you what, you're not gonna pay $6.05 to a 20 miles anywhere, because they're gonna charge you way more than that. This must be a pretty old problem.
75%.
75%? Right. Number 10, on 3 tests, a student scored a total of 258 points. If the student improved his performance on each test by 5 points, what was the score they received on each test? So how about S for score?
Yes.
So S is going to equal the score, but specifically on the first test. Because I can then use that variable to represent the score of the other tests. So that's the score of their first test. I don't know what it is, but it's S. They increased the next score by 5. So what did they get on the next test?
S plus 5.
Thank you for saying S plus 5 and not just 5. That'd be bad. And then they increased that one by 5 more, giving us S plus 10. For a total number of 258 points.
Yeah.
It is very similar to the consecutive number problem, right? S and S makes
Yes.
3S, 5 and 10 makes 15. Subtract 15 both sides.
Oh, wait, not.
Haley,
43.
243. That can't be divisible by 3.
No.
She's right though. 243 is.
Oh, it's 58. Yeah, it's.
Okay.
How is this?
What
Oh,
is
yeah,
it?
yeah. It's an 81.
S equals 81. So they got 81 points. 81 points on their first test. What about their second test?
86.
86 points
91.
and then 91 points. And that's the score of all 3
Wait, possible.
out of 1,000. So still failing all of them, but I'm still.
And I was like,
If it was out of 100, 81%, 86%, 91% would be pretty good too.
that's really good, actually.
Yeah, what about the first?
Number 11.
3%.
Number 11 says, an item costs X dollars. The tax rate is 7% of the cost of that item. Write and simplify an expression to find the total cost of an item with tax. This, by the way, is something you can use for every item you buy. Not every item, there's some tax exempt items, but most items you buy in the state of Indiana. You pay 7% sales tax, right? Okay. So here's the expression. You're gonna pay X dollars for that item, correct? Okay. Plus, you're gonna pay 7%, 0.07 on top of that. So what's 1x plus 0.07x?
1.07.
1.07x, and that is our answer for part A. If you take whatever you buy and times it by 1.07, you're gonna have the price with the tax included for you, which is what they want us to do for the next part. You just bought a pair of blue jeans that cost $44.95. So what's 1.07 times 44.95? Now we're talking about a dollar amount, so please give me your answer rounded to two decimal places. Asma,
$40.10.
$48.10. Is that what it rounds to, two decimal places? All right. Then we have our last problem then.
91.
A sweater costs X dollars at regular price. The sweater is reduced by 20%. Find and simplify an expression to find the cost of the sweater. So tax is like a markup, right? It increases the price you pay. That's right. Discount is money that you get to save. So the sweater costs this much, but then you just saved 20% of that amount. So what's 1x minus 0.20x? 0.8x. This is how you find a discount. You guys did this last year.
Yes.
Right? If you, doesn't it make sense that if you saved, right? Well, good. If you're saving 20%, that means you're gonna pay 80%, right?
Yeah.
0.8, okay. So let's say the item you're buying, that sweatshirt, sweater, is $22.50.
No, it's 25.
20, thank you, 25. Daniel, get your foot off the desk. Times that by 0.8, and you'll have found 80% of that because you're saving 20%. And what do you end up paying, Eli?
$20.40.
$20.40.
I
That's what I was rather do.
Is that what it rounds to? 40?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's my grandma would call that.
that's what 100% was about
100%, which is 1.
1.
Can you make
One.
sure that your name is on the front side of your worksheet for tonight?
Okay.
And then if you can come bring them up
It's first we do that,
to the period 6 tray.
right? You have to watch.
You get the points for doing it with having your name on it.
Wait, you actually get bonus points?
No, you get the paper. You reached out for soccer baby.
I did.
Don't leave.
Yeah. All right, have a great day.
Thank you.
Welcome.